Afternoon, everybody. This morning, I think y'all are tracking, the Department of Defense conducted another airdrop of humanitarian assistance into Gaza. 3 U.S. C-130s dropped 60 bundles with a total of more than 36,000 meals ready to eat. We were joined in this endeavor by several Jordanian aircraft as well. As President Biden has said, this will be a part of a sustained effort with our international partners to scale up the amount of life-saving aid that we're getting into Gaza. And as I said last week, we're exploring other channels to get aid into Gaza, including a maritime route. To that end, we're looking at both military and commercial options to move assistance by sea. There's still an awful lot of work that's being done on this to flesh it out. Of course, we're also going to continue to urge Israel to facilitate more trucks and more routes, opening up more crossings so that more aid can get into people in need and increase that flow. And with that, take some questions.
Okay, go ahead, Sid.
Thanks, John. With that number on the 36,000 meals, was that just the U.S. contribution to that, or was that also the Jordanian contribution to that area?
That was just the U.S. The Jordanians flew, I believe it was 4 aircraft, and I can get you the exact number of how much they dropped, but it was food that they dropped too.
And then in terms of the scale of that, I mean, that's a drop in the bucket of what the need is in Gaza right now. When you talk about the maritime corridor planning as well, I mean, this war's been going on for 5 months now.
Yeah.
Why isn't the U.S. and its allies further along in the planning stages for a maritime corridor or other operations like an airdrop with more equipment, more resources, more personnel on standby? Should, from the moment the president gave the go-ahead, I mean, shouldn't there have been more contingency planning to get more aid in much faster?
We've been working on the humanitarian assistance front since the beginning, as you said, many months ago. And quite frankly, the best and most efficient way to get aid in to people in a confined space like that in a very urban environment is on the ground. I mean, yes, you can move more volume in ships, whether they're military or commercial ships, but eventually that stuff has to get ashore, then has to get loaded onto vehicles and then trucked in, right? So the trucks are the best way to do that, and that's why we've been working so hard to try to increase the flow. And during the week-long pause that we had before, we were able to get it up to 200 trucks a day. It was through President Biden's urging that we got the Rafah crossing open to aid. It was at his urging that we got Kerem Shalom open, but it just hasn't. The flow just hasn't been enough to meet the need. And as the war has progressed, the need has gotten obviously much more dire. So it's not like even though we're just now talking about airdrops, it's not like the idea of airdrops just happened, just dropped out of the sky. It's been something we've been talking about for quite some time, in the maritime route as well. The maritime route, yes, it can move more volume at sea, but it also is going to require a heavier logistics lift and some infrastructure ashore, and very much going to need the support of allies and partners. And so those discussions are ongoing.
And then does the president have any plans to meet with Benny Gantz before he leaves Washington this evening?
No.